Catus Maximus here, this time with a quick review of this DeWalt Ez-Kleen 1/4-inch hex impact driver, I guess, interchangeable socket bit set. Kind of an interesting bit set. Or an interesting set, kind of hard to describe what it is. Didn't get that one open too well. There we go. So anyway, the short of it is most people are going to continue to use these 1/4-inch hex impact driver bits for, you know, sheet metal screws, that type of stuff. Small lag screws. I have a 3/8 and a 5/16 here. Mainly because this is what happens over time. The plating on the magnet gets beat up, and then rare earth magnets have a lot of iron in them. So once a little bit of a crack or separation happens to the nickel coating, then they start corroding badly, and then the magnet starts disintegrating. And at that point, you're going to have to end up replacing the magnet or replacing the bit anyway, and it tends to be pretty worn. So that's why I think people will mainly be using these. But DeWalt did have this interesting little idea here. I guess that's just to prevent them from getting loose, is the fact that, as we can see here, we already have some buildup of metal shavings, filings, that type of stuff. And that can end up really building up and clogging these. And if you don't have air to easily clean them out, then it can interrupt your workflow because the driver bit won't sit all the way down. I guess in this one it still sits down, but what will end up happening is it'll get so packed that it won't sit all the way down on the bit, start slipping, and giving you a hard time. So the idea with this DeWalt is that they have these little 1/4-inch hex drive impact socket set. And then they have this really special little drive adapter here that has a little ball detent, just one, and a magnet. And so it has this little interchangeable socket set. Why does not want to go? There we go. Man, that is actually a pretty strong detent. I was actually a little bit worried about that detent not being strong enough in using this and end up having the sockets want to fall off. But I think DeWalt has definitely thought of that, because this is definitely a pretty stiff detent. They didn't want it to fall off. There's actually a little undercut. It's kind of hard to see inside the drive there that this detent sits in there. So it actually sits pretty solid. So once you have it together, it's just like one of these. So we have this 3/8. We can see that DeWalt actually did try with the design, because it's just about the same size as their current little adapters. But the deal is, when these start getting filled up with a bunch of crud and particles, the particles are going to really want to stick primarily to the magnet. There'll be some inside the socket bit, but once it fills up, you just pull off the socket bit, tap out the socket bit, and then just use your fingers to, or a little paper towel, or, you know, shirt or something, to clean off the grit off the magnet, and being able to continue to work. And maybe for some reason you're using one of these bits in a drill versus an impact driver, you would have to loosen the chuck to pull this out in order to clean it. And so this offers you, and all their alternative is that when it's in a drill chuck, you can just pull this off, be able to quickly change sizes, or clean it without having to loosen or tighten the drill chuck. So overall, I think it's kind of an interesting idea. The little set is only a 5-piece set. They don't have a metric. This is really made just for construction driving. 1/4-inch, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, and 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inches, there we go, really stuck in there. The sockets overall don't seem too bad. Fluted. They're actually slightly fluted on the drive side too. So overall, we got some glue or something funky right there. Don't know how glue ended up on there, but this is a special little adapter bit. You can see that this ring here isn't like a press fit washer. It's actually, this is all one piece. This ring is forged on there, so it should be pretty strong. So overall, I think it's kind of a neat idea. I bought these on sale for $10, but I think they're normally $15, and that's why I held off. Because for $15, it's more expensive than a full 5-piece set of these. I do understand it's a little bit more expensive of a product, but still, it's just a little bit pricey. So if you can find them for $10 like I did, I think it's totally worth it. The only other thing to mention is this is all 1/4-inch, so you have the 1/4-inch socket. You'd think that would be straight wall, because it's just a 1/4-inch hex all the way through, except for the little undercut. But they actually gave the 1/4-inch socket a bit thicker of a base, just so it matches up a little bit more closely to that ring there. So overall, I think it's a neat and interesting little idea for a simple little set to make it easy to clean. It's just if they have these in stores, they should sell at least these things individually. And they had like single sizes that you could get that had this style. And I guess they're assuming that's what you'll do when the magnet gets beat up and worn out. And I think they should have these just by themselves. And they may have at some retailers, but not where I found these. Because this is what's going to beat up, because the idea is that these sockets will last quite a long time. So overall, I think for most people, these are going to be, not particularly useful, which is totally understandable. But I think in just certain industries, such as electricians or contractors or construction workers who do a lot of sheet metal work, will find a use for these. Because they're going to be working through enough screws where clogging is going to be their primary issue versus actually wearing it out. And it's a nice alternative to just having a collection of these or having to deal with the hassle of trying to clean these out, or once again just having a pocket full of them. But I think for most everyday average users, they're really too expensive. Even at $10, I think it's okay at $10. But at the normal $15 price, once again, I think it's just getting a little bit spendy for a lot of people, especially considering that these things hold up super well. It's just that you have to deal with the degrading magnets and them getting filled up. And that's only if you're driving like hundreds of screws. Anyway, just wanted to give my little opinion of this kind of an interesting idea, this neat little DeWalt set. I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out. Oh, real fast, I should mention that these do appear to be made in Taiwan, so at least they're definitely going to be, reliable quality. See you next video.